Welcome to This Day and Everything Cool for February 18th. On this day in 1977, a real-life Starship Enterprise took flight. The first NASA space shuttle, named the Enterprise, took off atop a Boeing 747 jumbo jet, kicking off a 9-month test program that led to the entire fleet of space shuttles heading into orbit in 1981. It wasn't an accident that the first space shuttle shared the same name as the iconic Star Trek vessel. Fans of the show launched an extensive write-in campaign to get the shuttle named Enterprise, with President Gerald Ford himself rumored to be a fan. Calling it Enterprise was also in keeping with U.S. tradition, owing to the fact that several big U.S. Navy vessels have also been named Enterprise. The Space Shuttle Enterprise currently sits on display in the U.S. Smithsonian. Speaking of outer space, on February 18, 1930, a new planet was found. American astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto orbiting more than 92 million miles from our sun, which at the time made it the furthest space rock humans had ever discovered. It's a good thing it's so far away. Pluto is made up of a mixture of rock and ice, so if it were closer to the sun, it would melt and break apart. They named it after the ruler of the underworld in classical Greek mythology, and this seems oddly prescient because Pluto's status as a planet would be short-lived. In recent years, astronomers have reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet, much to the chagrin of its supporters here on Earth. Good thing Pluto is just an inanimate rock and doesn't really care what we think. Cable television started a lot sooner than you might have thought. On February 18, 1946, the first cable TV television signals were transmitted from Washington, D.C. to New York City using an AT&T coaxial cable. The difference between cable and regular television is pretty simple. Cable TV uses a cable, while traditional television at the time relied on wireless signals received via a transmitter. It took a while for cable television to catch on, though. It was a niche market until the 1970s and 80s, when advancements in the technology allowed new companies like HBO to begin broadcasting into homes. And thanks to the fact that you could only get cable intentionally, cable TV was able to avoid many of the censorship regulations placed on traditional television. Cable television doesn't really use the same kind of cables anymore, but thankfully, it's even more gritty and violent.